Right, guys. So, welcome to Nanaska. Welcome to the operational case study. So, I'm Mark. So, I'll be myself, and along with me, there is Mr. Channagurunathana who will be taking you through this OCS course. So, he will also connect most probably during sometime during our session today to have a chat with you guys. Right. So, as we look at the operational case study, so I believe most of you guys are from the FLP background, coming in from the finance leadership program, having done or yet to complete your 3 modules of E1, F1, and P1, right? And some of you may be from the OTQ pathways where you have done your theory, and now here you are to pass your case study hurdle, which is the very first case study you're facing in the SEMA curriculum, right? So it's going to be very interesting. So remember, you have 3 case studies in the SEMA curriculum, and then this is the very first case study that you're going to face, right? So before we really dive into the session, right? So can you just give us a quick introduction of yourself? Have you been maybe just 2 or 3 points, right? Are you from the FLP program or are you from the OTQ program, right? And then maybe if you could update where you are from, right? A little bit of your background, just 2 3 sentences on the chat box, please. Let's get to know each other first before we kick off the session. Yes, can you all start sending a quick message on the chat box so that we really know, just get to know a glimpse of each other before we kick off the session. And then yes, we go and see what OCAs is, and then understand the structure of the course, understand the content of the course, what we at Nanaska are going to deliver for you, right? What is going to be our side of the game, what's going to be the support that we are going to extend from our end, and then the expectations from your end. So basically the entire outline of the course is what we are going to start off and discuss today, right? So it will not be a long session. So this is the very first introductory session we have at the beginning of every case study sessions, right? So after which you will get a schedule on the classes planned, the dates, the timing to whatnot, and then we'll be following that schedule throughout the course up until the day of your exam, right? So why don't you start off and tell me a little bit of yourself? They are from the FLP route, the OTQ route. Yes, quickly, a very short message on the chat box. Hi Ishara, so you're from the FLP route, a senior banker in a private bank. Very good. Welcome to Nanaska, welcome to OCS. What about the others? So, and you have finished, okay, and you've joined the FLP route. Super. Then we have Ishara, who is doing the FLP, experience in accounting. Wow. And CS Sri Lanka. Good. What about the others? Rest of you, a quick update, right? Doesn't have to be long, guys. Just a short update. Kavindi, welcome. CMA finalist, currently very good, working as an MT in a manufacturing company. So welcome to OCS. So almost everyone here who have introduced themselves are from the FLP route. What about the others? Takshila also from the FLP route and an undergraduate. Welcome, Takshila. And Harsha from the apparel sector and also from the FLP route. Welcome. What about the others? We have Gihan, we have Kasun, we have Ridmi, Ranchita, Tilan, Damit, and also part of the FLP. Super. Sheila also from the okay. Sheila is from the OTQ route. Work as an auditor. Good. Ridmi also from the FLP route, and you are undergraduate. Super. What about Bhavan? What about Damit introduced? Nirmi Dias, we have Ranchita, we have Tilan. I'll give you 2 more minutes before we look at the operational case study and how we are going to take you through the operational case study at Nanaska, right? And Gihan is also from the FLP route. Okay, you are from a private bank. Ranchit also from the FLP, and you are an undergraduate. Super. So we have a good mix of individuals joining with us today for the introductory session. Uh, so nice to have all of you. Nice to have all of you. And again, welcome to Nanaska and welcome to OCS. Right. So before we proceed, let me invite Mr. Channa Gunardhana to welcome you all and a brief introduction onto the case study. Yeah. Channa sir, I think I've made you a presenter. You should be able to access now. Yes, yes.
Hear me as well.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, guys. I'm not in the country, but I'm joining from somewhere else. But I will take only 10 minutes today. Today is the first introductory session. So now uh, I'll just introduce myself. I'm Channa Gunawardhana. I work as the CEO of Dankotu Porcelain PLC. At the same time, I am on the SEMA Global Council of UK SEMA Council. I am part of SEMA Global Council in UK. I've been part of SEMA for last maybe 20 years. I've been enjoying being a SEMA student and then a lecturer. Then got involved with a lot of SEMA work. Now on the council, of course, now get involved with Nanaska as well. So basically, Nanaska's main objective is to build a business leader for the world. What we are trying to do is to build a business leader for the world, which means something much more beyond passing a student. I mean, of course, will help you to pass OCS, MCS, SCS, be a SEMA qualified member. But we are much more beyond that. I mean, 2 weeks ago we had a session for leadership session, free of charge for all our students. If you're on my LinkedIn, if you're not on my LinkedIn, please connect via my LinkedIn. I go as Channa Gunawardhan on the LinkedIn. So you can connect me via LinkedIn. You will be able to see the photos of the event that we have done. So the objective of the event is share our experience on the leadership. So why we do that is we our objective is much more broader, not only to pass you, but how you can be a better leader, business leader for the world, right? So we do a lot of activities in that regard. We do a lot of free activities for you all to join. There'll be another leadership course happening in early September. Maybe you can join that. Again, that is about your unique leadership issues, how you can be a better leader for the business world, you individually. It is not a general theory session. It is not a general theory session. Hi everyone. Can you just say yes if you can, if you all can see me and hear me? Just say yes. Okay. So I can see some people are connecting me on LinkedIn now already. Yeah, that's good. So what I'm trying to say is, let's work together. SEMA is one of the best qualification to have without a doubt. It is accepted all over the world. It's a UK qualification connected to USA. So USA and UK institute together offering SEMA, and it is not a management accounting qualification anymore. It is a qualification to build a business leader. It's a qualification to build a business leader. It is not management accounting anymore. It is about, it is like a mini MBA. So that is why studies like OCS, MCS, SCS are very, very interesting. And you will learn a lot by joining with us on those programs as well. So Mark will primarily deliver the OCS session. I will also come in and kind of add value wherever we think that I will be able to add value. But I spend a lot of time with the MCS, SCS. What we do is mostly share my experience, my journey to be a CEO of Dankoto Khosle, from audit training of maybe 900 rupees a month salary to be a CEO of Dankoto Khosle. What are the issues that we face? How did we resolve them? They are the ones that will be there on the exam day for you. More for SCS, less for, because SCS is mostly about very practical. OCS is more biased towards theory. But you need to build the base as you go on. If you learn theory only from OCS level, you will struggle at the SCS level. So therefore, our course is structured in such a way you get the blend of both as you go on. So your journey will become easier from OCS to MCS, MCS to SCS, right? So we have that longer term objective in mind for you. When you look for jobs, we have Nanaska Connect. When you join, we when you want to look for a job, we have something called Nanaska Connect. Through that, we will help you to find jobs as well, right? So that's a broader objective that is available. So our course will include things like KYP, KYI, Know Your Pre-Scene, Know Your Industry. Let Mark explain that process in detail. I'll give my mobile number. Whenever you need to clarify anything, you can always send me a message. My mobile number goes as 0094 no 777 Whenever you wanted to clarify anything, I have typed the mobile number there, right? Whenever you wanted to clarify anything, you can always send me a WhatsApp message so we can see what we can do together. So we are aware you are starting a loan journey. We are aware some of you guys are professionals already qualified in other exams, uh, maybe working as a professional at a senior level. I saw some people were senior bankers in the private sector. Some people had done the chartered accountancy. I'm a chartered accountant as well. No, I'm a chartered accountant as well. So I'm a chartered accountant and a SEMA accountant as well. So we will share our experience. Our objective is to ensure you become better business leaders. So what is needed is not someone who has memorized theory. What is needed is someone who see a business problem, analyze the problem, see, identify where the problem is, and come up with various different solutions. That's a skill that we will try to build with you uh, throughout the course. So I want to wish you all the very best, and Mark will take over the session. I will join you after the first 2 weeks to handle one area in F1, E1, P1, and we'll work together. Mark, over to you, and we will be in touch soon. Mark, I'll be here just to listen to it, but you go ahead.
Okay. Right. So continuing from where we were, right? So we've got an understanding of the people, or the you who have enrolled with Nanaska for OCS on this journey. So now let's go through this and see what is this case study all about. What are we really going to do as part of Nanaska, our course? What is going to be our content, and as students, what we expect from you? And it gives you an understanding, gives you some insights as to what you need to be doing to pass this exam, right? So to start off, any have you all got any idea of the industry we have this time around for the case study? Anyone? Have you gone through the pre-scene? It was released in for the May case study as well, so it will be one pre-scene for the May and August case study. So have you all just run through it? Have you all got an understanding of what this industry is about, or what the company is about for that matter? So I have shared the pre-scene document that we will follow for the case study in the chat. You can refer to it, you can download it as well, right? So this time around, we have, I mean, it's quite a interesting case study, but at the same time, you might feel, okay, what are we really going to do with a case study where the company is all about selling horse saddles, right? Selling horse saddles. So our company name is Kanan, right? So what do they really do? So they manufacture, they design, they sell and distribute horse saddles. So what do you mean by a saddle of a horse? Any idea? What is a horse saddle? You see that image. You see the image of the saddle here in a washout format. Can you see that? What is a horse saddle? Basically, I mean, in European countries, we see a lot of these equestrian sports. Now, what are equestrian sports? Sports to do with things like horse riding, horse races, things like that, right? So, for the rider to be on the horse, the saddle has to be laid on top of the horse for the rider to be on top of the horse, so that it gives comfort to the rider, as well as it does not create any negative impact to the horse. It facilitates even distribution of the rider's weight, does not have undue pressure on the organs of the horse, right? Make sure that the horse and the rider are stable. There are many reasons, multiple reasons why you need to place a saddle before a rider gets on top of the horse. So basically, that's the product we are looking at. That's the product we are looking at. Manufacturing, designing, selling horse saddles, right? It's a completely new industry to all of us, right? So this was I mean, the very first time I read about it, I started reading about it, is when we got this case study. So it's really interesting, right? Just throughout this week, if you have some time, just browse the internet and see YouTube, enough and more videos on these equestrian sports, right? Saddle manufacturing processes. Just you don't have to know a lot of details about it, but just try to get some understanding, some insights on what this product is, how is it manufactured, what's the use of this product, right? Things like that. So you'll find it interesting when you start exploring it on your own, right? So we will also be looking at key players. We'll be looking at, okay, what are the implications of this product, right? What are the changes that we could do to the product, the innovations that we could propose, right? The new products, the complementary products that we could offer along with this, so that we take our company to the next level. So our discussion is going to be broken down into multiple segments, right? The case study discussion that we're going to have in class is going to be broken down into multiple segments. One, we start with the pre-scene. Now, what is the pre-scene? Pre-scene is the document issued by SEMA. Pre-scene is the document issued by SEMA, right? That will be used for the case study examination in May and August 2024. So that will be a reference, right? We'll all have to study about it. We'll have to analyze it. We'll have to understand the financials. We'll have to understand the budget information. We'll have to understand the company-wide processes, get to know about the senior management of the company, right? Get to know what are the other products they manufacture, their production processes, their delivery processes, their sales channels. So it's a comprehensive document that covers all of this. And that will be our main guide, the main tool that we have to prepare ourselves for the case study examination. So having that as the main tool would not be enough for us to prepare ourselves for the exam. Now that is where Nanaska comes in. We give you a know your pre-scene document, which is basically a summarized version of the pre-scene with a little bit of analysis and extra detail wherever necessary we think would be important when it comes to answering questions at the real exam. So the content, the first one that we'll be starting off with is know your pre-scene, the pre-scene analysis, right? The pre-scene analysis. So this is where we look at the pre-scene, understand, okay, what are the relevant implications, what are the possible scenarios the examiner could develop from this part of the pre-scene, what's the relevant theory that has been discussed here, and what could be areas from that theory that could turn up at the exam, things like that. So it's going to be a detailed analysis plus glancing through the pre-scene document issued to us by SEMA. So the first 2 weeks, it will be all about the pre-scene analysis. We'll try to get to know about the company, understand what it is doing, go through the pre-scene, a little bit of analysis, things like that. Number 2, now having knowledge about the document itself, about the pre-scene, about the analysis we do will not be enough, which is why we take you through the industry. So we take you through a comprehensive document called Know Your Industry that will cover very interesting elements about the industry. It will talk about Khanan, then it will go on to the industry. What is this product? Right? The history of the product, the manufacturing processes, the competitors that are offering the product, the trends of the industry, what are the challenges in the industry? Is this industry growing? Is there a compound annual growth rate, or is it contracting? What are the economic implications to this industry, right? What does the future of the industry look like? How can we embed things like AI, big data, IoT into this industry, right? We have certain competitors, certain players in the market who have already embedded these digital techniques into their saddles. But still, we as Khanan, if you go through the pre-scene, you will see we are yet to innovate to that level. So we have a journey to go. So when you go through the KYI, you will understand there'll be multiple similar companies to that of Khanan, right? You'll understand the market size, the market share, right? And towards the end, we give you a real world company. So this time we have selected a company called Fairfax, which is very similar. If you go through the pre-scene and look at the documentaries of this company called Fairfax, it's very similar. So we try to understand and go through content of a real world company so that we get practical insights. We really know what we need to do when it comes to if we are really put into the shoes of a finance manager, finance officer, finance assistant, or assistant finance manager. Now that's the objective of that. So we select a real world company. For example, this time we have Fairfax, and we try to benchmark it with Khanan and see, okay, where do we stand? If it's costing, if they are using ABC, I'm still using absorption. There is a gap that I need to bridge. How can I bridge this? So we try to understand the standard of excellence established in the saddle industry, in the equestrian equipment market, right? So when you talk about saddles, it's just one equipment of in the equestrian industry. Equestrian industry is about horses, right? Horse racing, right? Whatnot. It's just one equipment. There are enough and more others. You see bridles that you put to the mouth of the horse, and then you control it, right? Then you have bridles, you have saddles, right? You have horse safety shoes, right? You, I mean, enough and more equipment. Now, out of all those equipment, we sell one, which is saddles. But there may be competitors, even Fairfax, they have a range of products, complementary products, offering to a target base in the that's all about the equestrian industry, right? So that itself is a learning. It's a gap that we've got to improve. We are wholly dependent on saddles. Now, what if there is a new entrant to the market who is going to disrupt it? Use a market penetration strategy, low pricing. They want to expand, they want to gain market share as soon as they launch themselves to the market, right? And they go on a mass scale to the market. What I mean, there will definitely be an impact to us. Forget about we be having a history, forget about we having a good quality product, but if we are not, if we are unable to cope up with that competition, yes, we are always at risk. There is always a challenge. So therefore there is a risk that we are dependent only on saddles. So why not, let's innovate, let's expand our product line to include bridles, to include horse safety shoes, etc., right? So these are all the discussions that we are going to have. And to make that call, let's say we are going to expand into, we are going to offer bridles. What are the uh, frameworks that we've got to use? Maybe we might have to do a budget for it, right? We might have to do a budget for it. Then we launch that product, and after 3 months, your management wants to know how it has performed. You might have to do a variance analysis for it, right? Then there is a shortage of raw materials to manufacture bridles and saddles, and you need to find the optimum quantity to be manufactured. You need to do a linear programming chart for it and propose to the examiner, look here, this is the optimal quantity that we need to manufacture, right? Then you're trying to introduce AI techniques into the business. You've got to have an understanding of what the tools are and where really can we embed these AI techniques, digital techniques, IoTs to e-commerce to whatnot into our business, right? So it's going to be very interesting, a practical discussion of by relating to specific areas of theory that that you already know, which you have already come across in your FLP programs, in your OTQ modules, right? So that's about the industry. So you get to know about the pre-scene and you get to know about the industry. So under the pre-scene, we do a detailed pre-scene analysis, which I said which we will cover over the first 2 weeks. Then we go to the industry, right? So industry, I mean, this one is not something that you have to study. KYI, we don't give you to study. We give you as a reference document for you to go through maybe a couple of times. Familiarize yourself for the exam. You don't have to be talking about paragraphs and paragraphs about the industry at the exam. No. But we come to a point where we always tell you, okay, relate something from the industry to the answer that you are writing. So we propose an answer structure, right? We say there are 5 elements that needs to be there in a prize winning answer. Points from your unseen, points from your pre-scene, the additional points that you contribute to the answer, points from the theory, if any, and finally points from the industry. That makes a prize winning answer. So the fifth point, right? The fifth point is about points from the industry. Now, how are you going to relate that to your answer? Is the knowledge that you need to gain by referring the KYI. Now, KYI alone will not be sufficient, which is why we give you exercise. We ask you to do a walkthrough of the real world company that we have placed in the KYI. For example, Fairfax. Go to the Fairfax website, go to their social media sites, right? Try to go through their e-commerce, try to do online purchase. Have an understanding about the interface. Look at how they promote the products. Now this is a totally different product to all of us, a new product to all of us. So how are they really marketing the product? What sort of offers are they coming up with? What sort of promotions are they coming up with? What sort of events are they doing to capture potential customers? So we also give you an exercise where you've got to do a walkthrough of this real world company. That's when you get practical insights which you need to apply to your case study. So knowing the theory alone will not help you, because remember, you have two more case studies to do, which will be almost a practical based, it's all a real world based case study, right? So you need to know your theory, right? At OCS, we'll talk about it in a while. You have to know your theory, obviously. But then how are you going to consolidate the knowledge of your theory and the business applications that you get out of the pre-gen analysis, out of the industry analysis, and present a comprehensive answer to the exam is what we are going to practice from the mock papers that we are going to do, right? So now we have a series of mock papers which you've got to attempt. Send it to us, we mark it, we send it back to you, and for that you have a one-to-one session with our team where you can ask questions, clarify doubts, and make sure you continuously improve, right? For example, this is a sample exam paper or a mock paper that I have shared on the screen. Now, it's all a real world problem that you will face at the exam. You go to office, your boss sends you an email, look here, there's a problem, how are we going to solve it? Please email, get back to me within 45 minutes with your proposed recommendation, with your reply to whatnot. So you get a similar scenario as you work in a working environment. Just as you go there, the problems you face, similar problems you will get at the exam, right? Now, what is this question? What is this problem about? You get an email. Now, you are the finance officer. You get an email from your boss, the finance manager. It's about quarterly reporting and supply issues. I need to finalize the financial statements for the quarter. Following two events have happened in Jan that may well affect the statements, and I would like to let you know how these things should be treated. Right? Event 1. There was a fire in the raw materials warehouse section that damaged pieces of inventory. Event 2. One of our raw material suppliers paid us $25,000 in settlement of a legal case that we had taken out against them in September. Right. Now, I know this is there may be a little bit of a element of theory involved, but still let's be open. Let's discuss. What is the finance manager asking from you? Should I adjust for these events in the financial statements or not? Simply that is what he's asking. Now, how are you going to reply for this? Okay, let's talk about event 1. Can someone tell me from the audience, what do you think? Do we adjust for that in the financial statements or do we not adjust? What should we do? What should we do? Yes, any answers from the audience? Event 1, there was a fire. Now we are trying to do it, the statements for December. Now this has happened in January. Do you think we need to adjust for it in the financial statements for the quarter ended 31st December? This is the reporting date. Your event, the fire has happened on the 5th of January. Should we account for this? Should we adjust for this event in the financial statements? No. Why? Why should we not adjust? What is the relevant accounting standards that guides your decision in this case? What's the accounting standard that guides your decision in this case? IAS 10. Very good. Events after the reporting period. So in the standard, you have two definitions. What are the two definitions? Adjusting events and non-adjusting events. Now this falls under the category of a non-adjusting event. Non-adjusting event. Why do we not adjust? The standard says if there is evidence of existence at the reporting date, yes, you adjust. If not, you do not adjust. Now, was there any evidence of fire as of December? No. This has happened in Jan. But yes, you may include a clause under note that this happened, that there could be a contingency. Right? Good. Event 2. On the 10th of January, a supplier has paid us in settlement of a legal case against a case we have taken out against them in September. Do we adjust for this or not? Now ask the question. Is there evidence of existence at the reporting date? If yes, you adjust. If not, you do not adjust. Now that's what the IAS 10, the accounting standard, guides us. Divides the events into two, adjusting events and non-adjusting events. So basically, the basis for this decision would be what? Evidence of existence at the reporting date. Evidence of existence at the reporting date. So in the second scenario, is there evidence of existence at the reporting date? Is there evidence of existence at the reporting date? What do you think? Answers, please. Yeah, so we need to adjust. Why? We have taken the case against in 2022. So we would have been maintaining a provision account for this. A provision for this, and there is evidence of existence. The case had already been there as of December because we had taken out against it the case in September. Obviously, it's an adjusting event, right? So you say, you address it. Now the question is explanation of how the two events will affect the financial statements. So you say event 1, this is the impact. Event 2, this is the impact. You start off by saying IAS 10, this is the accounting standard that guides the decision in this case. Right? Good. So that's just a feel of how you will face at the exam, of what you will face at the exam. So our mock papers will also be very similar to what you face at the exam, right? If we've seen it in the past, if you talk to our previous students, you will see that there has been a high level of similarity between the mock papers we discuss in class and the final exam they faced. So more mock papers you do makes you more prepared, gives you more confidence to face the real final exam, right? So we are going to discuss about 9 to 10 mock papers like this, right? So 4 sections is about 40 scenarios, right? Then it's going to be a rapid exercise when it comes to mock papers. So starting off with the pre-scene analysis, a little bit of the industry analysis, then we directly dive into mock papers where we try to familiarize ourselves with the practice needed to face the exam. So as I told you, we'll be taking you through the real world applications as well, where we talk about the trends in the industry. Now, since we are a European company, we look at who are the major players in the UK that will have a threat to us, that will have from where we will have to face competition, right? What do they do differently, which we do not do? We benchmark ourselves, right? Try to understand, okay, if we do this, this is where we could go to compare ourselves always with the standard of excellence and see how it would work, right? So any questions up to this point before I take you through the final overview of the case study? Any questions up to this point on what we have in store for you, on how we take you through the discussion points we had up to this point? Do you have anything to clarify? I'll give you 2 minutes. Can you send up a heads up on the chat box? If you're clear, you can say that you're clear. If not, yes, if you have any clarifications, any question to ask, please go ahead and ask. It's actually closed book, right? The documents that you can access is only the pre-seen document. That's it, right? Any theory notes, uh, any other notes that you prepare for yourself, no, you cannot take them with you. So it's pretty much a closed book exam. How many mocks we get to do within the week? You get about first few mock papers, yes, about two a week. Then at most it will be three. Otherwise, it will be two a week. Yeah. So you can do it on the during the course of the week. Send it to us. We mark it and give you the feedback. That's how it works. So if I take you through the content that we discuss in class, a quick summary of that. Right. So as I told you, we start off with the pre-scene analysis, right, which we also call the KYP. Then the industry review, which we call as the KYI. Then we also take you through a document called the deep dive, that is a detailed version of the KYP. So KYP is a snapshot of the pre-scene. The detailed analysis we discuss in class is given to you in a documented format called the deep dive, right? Then we take you through 10 mock papers. We take you to 10 mock papers. That is to make yourselves familiar to the exam, for you to practice. It's all for you to practice, right? Then we also have about 4 to 5 refresh series sessions for your E1, F1, and P1. So make maximum use of these sessions. So we will arrange them, we will organize them, schedule them towards the beginning of the sessions. That is starting from next week. We will organize the refresh theory sessions, E1, F1, and P1. So E1 will be recorded sessions which you can access through the LMS. F1 and P1 will be live sessions, most probably 2 sessions for each subject. We'll be taking you through the key theory areas that you need to know to pass the exam. So it will be done by our F1 and P1 lecturers. So make maximum use of those sessions. Don't miss them. I'll tell you why, right? Then also you get a power mock and a financial mock. Financial mock covers all the F1 areas, and the power mock covers a summary of multiple scenarios from all three subjects, E1, F1, P1, right? It's a general mock that gives you key points that you've got to include in your answers. Then we have a document called possible issues. So now we discuss about 4 sections into 10. Here we have 40 sections. Then here also we have about 10 to 12 possible issues, under each maybe a minimum of 2 questions, right? So there itself we have another 25 scenarios. So we try to anticipate, forecast as much as possible of the scenarios the examiner would bring out at the exam. That's the objective of doing 10 mock papers and again doing a separate possible issues document. So we've been successful so far. So we try our level best to anticipate what the examiner would turn up with at the exam day. That's the objective of doing such a vast coverage of scenarios of mock papers and possible issues. I hope you understand that, right? Yeah, I will give you a plan for the mock papers as to by when, with the timelines as to when you need to complete it, right? So now, when is your exam? When is your exam? Any idea? When is your exam? 7th to the 9th of August will be your exam. 7th to the 9th of August. So in that case, how many weeks you have from today? How many weeks do you have from today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have almost 2 months, 8 weeks, 7.5 to 8 weeks. Now we've got to plan our studies during these 7 to 8 weeks. That's the objective. So I'll give along with timelines as to when you need to complete your mock papers. So let's try our level best to stick to that schedule. Right? Okay, so this is basically the content that we will look at, the content that we will cover in the course. Right? So any questions up to now? Any questions on the content we are going to cover, the mock papers or whatever? I'll give you a minute. Just reflect on what I took you through so far. Also the content of the course that we will discuss in class, the 7 that I have listed, and you can ask me if there is a question or a clarification. Yeah, I'll give you 2 minutes. Just go through what we've discussed, and also if you have any questions regarding the content, regarding the structure of the course, please go ahead and ask. Yeah, if you are clear, just drop a note on the chat box that you are clear. Are we all clear? Can I get a heads up on the chat box? Whether you are clear, whether you understood on the content we discuss, or if you have any questions, please ask. Is everybody clear? Can I get a heads up on the chat box? What about the others? Is everybody clear? Can I move on? So we are going to be interactive in class, guys, right? So you, from your profiles, we can see that you also, I mean, definitely you will have things to bring into the table. So you bring in things, I come up with things, I might miss certain things that you might come across. Please bring them, share it with us. So it's going to be an interactive session, right? It's more than a lecture, it's going to be a discussion sort of a thing, right? So I'm going to ask you questions, you're going to throw questions at me, you're going to come up with ideas. This could happen here, why not this, right? Things like that. It's going to be very interactive, otherwise it's going to be boring, right? And also on the timetable we share with you, we have also planned a few hybrid sessions. So make maximum use of them. We can meet in person. So especially anyone who is abroad and anyone who is out of Colombo, yes, we will be still streaming online, but try your level best. The rest of you to join us in class, which will be at the Nanaska Institute in Colombo 3. So in the timetable we share with you, we will show those time slots separately where we are going to have hybrid sessions, right? So there we can come discuss, get to know each other, then go through one-to-one, go through your mock papers and give one-to-one feedback looking at your marks, things like that. So it's going to be a collaborative effort that we're going to put in, right? So you give in your commitment, I give in my commitment, right? You stick to the timelines we discuss in class, do the exercises we give in class, then it's just a matter of building in confidence and making sure you practice more mocks and you getting through the exam. So the end objective is that I want everyone to pass the exam. You also need to have that motive and be committed and work hard for it, right? So finally, before I conclude, just to give you an overview of how our case study is like. Now, this is the first case study I told you, right? So 65% of it you might have to know, you need to have to know your theory to answer them, and 35 coming from your business applications. And out of that 65% of the theory, majority of your theory will be coming in from which subject? From your P1, then from your F1, and then from your E1. Now this is based on an analysis which I did based on the past papers of OCS, right? So majority, 60 to 70% of it, you need to know your theory to answer them. The balance, of course, yes, from the practical knowledge, from the business applications that you've come across, simulations, yes, you can answer them. But even to relate them to the case study and bring it together, you need to have a decent knowledge of the theory, which is why we have dedicated E1, F1, P1 theory sessions for you to refresh your knowledge there, clear your doubts, and make sure you're ready for the game. So we will schedule the refresh theory sessions during the first 2 weeks, right? So start from today. Don't wait till the first week. Start from today. Take your E1, F1, P1 notes, revise it, right? Guys, it's going to be very critical. You talk to people who have completed OCS, get their ideas, get their views of how the paper was like, of how you need to prepare. So we'll bring in the testimonial session also, where one of the students who were at Nanaska, he will be sharing his experience and what you really need to do to pass as well. But you, yes, you from your network of contacts, why don't you consult and see, right? There is a huge element of theory that you've got to have compared to MCS and SCS, where the theory portion gradually becomes very low when you go to SCS. But at OCS, yes, you've got to have a decent level of theory in order to pass this exam. So focus there. Refresh and revise your E1, F1, P1 starting today. Remember, out of that 65%, majority will be from your P1, then your F1, and then your E1, right? So the critical success factors, finally, to highlight before I conclude. Refresh your theory, very critical. Practice mock papers. Your typing speed is what we measure through words per minute. You'll be end of the day typing, right? So we set an average of 35 to 40 to be a decent WPM. So just type for about 10-15 minutes and track your WPM. How many words can you type per minute? We have to improve that KPI as well, right? Pre-scene know-how. We need to read the pre-scene at least 15 to 20 times before the exam, right? So that we know where the content is, we know what exactly we are talking about, so that we can relate it to the pre-scene and answer on the exam day without spending time going through the pre-scene, searching for things and answering on the exam day, right? That's going to give you a lot of time saving uh, benefits. The more you read the pre-scene, the more you know about the pre-scene, and then your possible issues. So again, mock papers, possible issues are the scenarios that we anticipate that the examiner might come up with on the exam day, right? So that's basically what we have in store for you, right? So do you have anything else to clarify? So you will, once you register with us, you get access to our LMS, where we upload all these documents, all these uh, the seven course content, the seven areas of the course content that I shared with you, which you will get access to. And then the rest of it are the critical success factors that you've got to develop within yourselves, that you've got to have within you, so that you ensure you pass the exam, right? So we are committed for that. I need your commitment from your end. So it's going to be a joint game, a collaborative effort with a lot of interactions, right? So we'll have at least 4 hybrid sessions. So wherever possible, let's meet in class and discuss, so that we clarify all the doubts before the exam. At the same time, start revising your theory from tomorrow onwards. So those are the words of wisdom that I want to leave with you. So, any questions, any clarifications that you may have before I conclude? Are we all good? Can I get a final heads up on the chat box? Did you get some understanding, some insights of OCS? What is it about? What is expected from you? What we have in store for you? Any clarifications? Any questions regarding the content, the course structure, whatnot? You can ask now. I'll give you 2 minutes for that. Is everybody clear on the course content, the structure, and what we discussed in class today? Anything to be clarified before we conclude? All clear? Very good. So nice to have all of you joining the session today, and I hope to see you all in class next week. So our usual sessions online that will be held online will be 6:30 to 9. The hybrid sessions, the usual timing would be 2:30 to 5:30, right? So I'm hoping to see all of you in class. So thank you so much for joining today. I hope you got what it is all about, what we're going to discuss, what is expected from you, the course structure, the content, whatnot. So brace yourselves for it. Let's somehow get this job done so that we ensure that you pass the exam at the end, right? So we have about 7 to 8 weeks left. Have a plan as to what you're going to do and how we are going to pass this exam, right? So with that note, thank you so much for joining again, and I'll see you in class next week. Thank you and good night. You're welcome. You're welcome.